know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys and the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary tight end Jason Dunn. JD, welcome back after the bye week, baby. How you doing, man?
What's up, my brother? How's it going, man? How you doing? How's everything going? I'm on cloud nine right now, too.
Oh, I know you are. For those listeners who don't know, JD and I finally got to meet this past weekend under amazing circumstances. JD is no longer on the market. He's off the market. He's a newlywed, no longer a bachelor. JD married the soulmate of his life. And JD, how you doing, man? Only a couple of days after the wedding. How you doing, bud?
Man, I'm telling you, I am beyond blessed, beyond grateful for the amount of people that showed up, that came, including you, to my great and wonderful ceremony. Marrying the most beautiful bride that God has blessed me with, that we blessed each other with. And so, dude, I've been emotional, like, just for the past 3 days. This whole situation, like, for the past few weeks, had just been like a whirlwind. I'm just moving all over the place. And I'm finally starting to get some rest these past 2 days. And I'm thankful for that, get the rest, man. But yeah, here he is, JD, went ahead and did the do, and I'm so glad for it. We've been together and been loving each other for quite some time, and this thing right here has just been a cherry on top. Really, that's what it was. And finishing up with what what our love has been signified for all this time. So it was a wonderful ceremony, wonderful people. Had some of my guys that came down, of course, that I played ball with. Billy Baber and Sean Barber and Tony Gonzalez and Kenton Brookins and guys like that, and my EKU family, football buddies. Lots of friends and family, so all over the place, man. So it was great. It was great. So I couldn't ask for a better day, a better time, better company, better food, everything. Everything was flowing. So it was good. It was good. What did you think? How'd you enjoy yourself?
I loved it. Other than, meeting you, which is, and that's the thing. It's like, we've been doing the show for so long. Like, when we first met, it didn't feel like it was the first time meeting you. It's like, I was telling your brothers that it's like, I made a comparison. It's like when you're talking to, like, in online dating, right? You're talking to a girl for so long online. It's like, FaceTiming, and all of a sudden when you meet, you're like, oh, like, this is like, it's like we've been doing this forever now. It was really cool. And Kentucky was awesome first time in the state of Kentucky. Amazing. I was trying to describe it to some of my friends. It's like, because I posted a picture online of me with a horse, and they're like, wait, you just like went to it? Did you pay for that? I was like, no. So we were literally just driving. We saw a horse like right by the fence, and we just like pulled off to the side of the road and like started like, didn't touch the horse, that his owner wasn't around or whatnot. But, there's horse farms all over the place. You just pull off to the side of the road, you see horses, and there's really not many places like that in the United States that you can just pull up and go, like, look at a horse, and it's awesome.
And that's what Kentucky, offers you. It offers you a chance to see some of the most pristine country this the United States have to offer. Like you said, the horse parks all over the place. I mean, it's amazing how immaculate and how upkept everything is. But it is just the beauty of like the grass, the horses, the farms, especially during this time, during this season, during the fall. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, leaves is falling. I mean, and I always tell people, if you never had a chance to visit Kentucky, come on down. Come on down to the Bluegrass, man. We'd love to have you. You won't be disappointed. There's things to do outdoor. There's things to do if you want to go in the city. That's your thing. Got a lot to offer. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. My family enjoyed you. Everybody enjoyed you, Marcus. They really did. So it was a wonderful, wonderful time, man. Such a blessing.
There really was. I felt like I was one with the Dunn family. I really was. After the first hour at the pre-wedding kind of picnic that you had, I was like, I think I'm in the Dunn family. I'm on the Dunn side of the family.
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, you are officially a Dunn member of the family, no doubt about it. You are an official member, lifelong member of the family. Okay, so I told you, next time you get down this way, close to this way, you got a bed, you got a meal. You got clothing, you got everything. Whatever you need, you got it down here, brother. Believe me. So, like I said, welcome to the family.
I love it and I appreciate it, man. I really do. Yeah. So there's lots to get. So it was a bye week, and there's lots to get into this week. But with JD, with this amazing news that JD got married this past weekend, we felt it was time. We've been promoting the giveaways. We felt it was time to do our first giveaway from the GLD Shop, which is the Chiefs necklace giveaways that we're doing. And for those of you who have not entered yet, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel and also give us a review on Apple Podcasts and anywhere else you can give reviews for podcasts. So we did a little bit of the our shuffling of the people who entered the contest. And the person we're going to give our first necklace away, and we're going to do this leading up to Thanksgiving holiday. So we're going to do one giveaway. We have 3 of them. We're going to do one giveaway for the next 3 weeks. So today and then the next 2 shows. So today, the first one we're going to give away is to our guy, Clarence Newsom, who's been a big loyal subscriber to our channel for a while. Gave us a review. And yeah, he's just been awesome. And we're happy that he was the name that came up when we did a little bit of our shuffling. JD, what do you think about Clarence being the first member of the giveaways?
Man, well deserved. Clarence, like you said, he's been with us day one pretty much. He's a guy we hear from all the time, and we appreciate him for who he is, what he gives to us. And so I'm glad it went to Clarence. We'll have some more going out, but Clarence, man, you deserve it, my man. You've been there, brother. So enjoy your nice little hardware that you're getting. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. So go out there and shine it. Show everybody what it is, what you got, where you got it from. Talk was up. Talk was up, man. But yeah, congrats. Enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it. And for others who are a fan of the necklace, and we'll show it here on the during the show. But whoever's interested, you can also go to the GLD Shop and get 33% off using the code Chief Concerns. So, but Clarence, congratulations, buddy. I'll be emailing you or DMing you on Twitter about your address so I can send that off to you. But all right, so while it was a bye week, it wasn't really a bye week as far as news because there was a lot of news that went on over the last week and a half. So we're going to get into it with the first topic. JD, you ready, buddy?
Yeah, let's rock and roll, man. I'm ready. It seems like it's been forever, huh? Since we've been on this thing, so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first topic. So on my way down to Kentucky last week, I had to pull over. I was actually crossing over West Virginia, the capital of Charleston, when my phone started to explode with this news that the Chiefs have traded for this wide receiver. And I'm like, what? What's going on here? I had to pull over to the side of the road because I was tweeting. My girlfriend was like, no, this is unsafe. You can't be tweeting about Chiefs news while you're driving on the highway. So I pulled over. She drove for a little bit. But we ended up trading for Kadarius Toney, second-year wide receiver from the New York Giants. He's only been active in 12 of the possible 24 games in his young career. And so far it's been plagued by injuries, mainly a hamstring injury. A little bit about Kadarius Toney for people who don't really know. Coming out of college, comparative to Santana Moss and a Tyreek Hill combination. And I feel like every kind of like fast twitch guy has been compared to Tyreek Hill, who's a little smaller, has been compared to Tyreek Hill. I honestly think he's more Santana Moss than Tyreek Hill, but we'll see how things continue with him. Obviously, both guys good names to live up to there. But he showed some flashes in the New Orleans game last year, and the Dallas game. He really dominated. He looked really good, but he also, didn't really do much outside of those two games. Some may say his career in New York was hindered by injuries and also a little bit of the QB play and the offense there in New York. But to get that at brass tacks, he's young, he's cheap, he's under contract for a good while, and all we did was trade an extra third that we had, and a 6th-round pick for him. And for a guy who has an insane ceiling, who was in the 1st-round pick just last year, just 1 year ago, I have to ask you, JD, what were your thoughts on this trade?
So I didn't really mind it. I didn't mind it at all. I think, you're getting a guy who has a ton of ability. He's definitely somebody could be a game changer. The thing is, keeping him healthy. And so, sometimes with these guys, it's a significant injury, especially with your hamstring, fast guys. And so if what you're relying upon is your speed, elusiveness, that's your calling card. That's your moneymaker. And so hopefully he gets healthy. I knew we took him off once he got here, taking him off the injury list. So maybe he'll be ready to play. So we'll see. We'll see. So he's a young guy. The good thing is, if we're looking at for the future, here's a guy that you could kind of build on. This is a guy that you could get here, and help develop him with some of the other young guys that we got here as well that's talented. So that you address that issue in itself. But I don't mind it, man. Shoot, if you get somebody like that, a speed guy who's got that type of ability, game-breaking ability, hit their head on the goalpost anytime they get the ball in his hands, hey, man, I'm all for it. So good deal. Maybe him coming out of that environment up there, because like you said before, I think part of it had to do with the offense. Just they weren't really hitting on anything up there in New York, and especially when you don't have Barkley, which they didn't have last year, things are a little tough. And so, Daniel Jones was struggling, got hurt. It was a lot of difficulty for him. And so maybe now he comes to this winning machine that we got, things going to change. Hopefully things will change for him. Work him into the offense. I guess maybe about week 12 or so, he start working in. He can get a little bit more in the mix. So we'll see. But I like it. I do like it.
And I think for starters, at the very minimum, we'll see him hopefully get in maybe at special teams this week. I mean, we talked about last time, we talked about Sky Moore maybe not being the punt returner that they're trying to make him to be. This guy, well, he didn't have a lot of punt returns in college. Only his senior year, I think he had like maybe 12 to 15 punt returns in college, his senior year mainly. He did have a touchdown at punt returning. So he's done it on the college level. I think he only returned one last year with the Giants, but the guy did it in college and was pretty damn good at it, especially in the SEC. So, I mean, I think, I saw videos of him catching punts today, and obviously, catching it with no defense or anyone tackling him or anything, but he looked like a natural punt returner back there. So, I mean, I think what's the harm in putting him back there?
No, I mean, that to me, I think it's a huge issue. And so when you're talking about field position, getting somebody back there that has, can catch the ball, get up the field, make guys miss, you need a guy like that. We've been missing that guy, and it's not really, tearing down Sky Moore or even Pacheco on the kickoff return, but you need a guy that's going to be able to get you positive yards. And when you have a returner who is a weapon, then you got to utilize him. You have to. If you don't, then what are you doing? You're just making it harder on the offense. And so I don't think, they're going to, say, hey, no, we ain't going to put him in right now. Like you said, if we could use you at this moment and give you just a little bit, shoot, why not? Why not? He can make a difference. I don't care what he plays. He'll be able to make a difference, come in, shoot, sign him up, put him out there. I think he'll do a lot better than what the guys that we have been seeing has been doing. So I trust his ability. I do.
Yeah, plus having that home run threat at that return position is always an added boost for teams. One thing that people have been saying is like having a receiver. Oh, this guy's going to be a non-factor this year because no one can learn that Andy Reid playbook so fast. And the thing was, I read that apparently he's a very intelligent kid. He played quarterback in high school, so like he can probably. People were saying, I think it was the Schultz report online was like, this guy's very, very intelligent kid, and don't be surprised if he does grasp the playbook faster than some others. So I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that he played quarterback in high school, I think that definitely helps him as far as getting able to be able to bring up the speed maybe a little bit faster. But I mean, it is
Oh, yeah.
look so.
Well, no, I mean, that'd be a tremendous help because then he could communicate with Patrick Mahomes on certain things that he's looking at as far as, perspective of a quarterback with different things that you see and what you want from your receiver. I think it makes it a lot easier, especially when you go to, like you said, wide receiver from quarterback. So you see guys like that, like Travis Kelce, right? Travis has a good understanding about getting open and so knowing what Patrick wants. Who's another one? Julian Edelman was another guy, right? Kind of understood how to get open in different zones and whatnot. And so when you start thinking about guys to play quarterback, becoming wide receivers, they tend to do pretty well. They tend to do pretty well because they understand their defenses, what they're going against, and when it's like I said before, what is expected out of them. Who was the quarterback? I can't think. I see his face from Ohio State. They turned into a wide receiver.
JT Barrett.
No, I can't think his name, but he was he with Cleveland? I'm not sure. I think in a minute. But he did pretty well. I'm just making a point that he did really well also because it was just like, well, where he's at quarterback wise, kind of struggled a little bit, but then he became a wide receiver and he was like, oh my gosh, every week he's catching, 4 or 5 balls. So I don't know. I had to look up his name to see.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Was it Braxton Miller?
No, it wasn't Braxton. No Braxton.
I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, I mean, I think that regardless if it's right now, and I think a lot of Chiefs fans are I think the whole Josh Gordon thing kind of really tuned out a lot of the in season receiver type signings. I think people just think that because Josh Gordon didn't really grasp the playbook or whatever the reason was, people just want to think that he didn't grasp the playbook and he never really got on the field because of that reason. And I just think people are saying, oh, right away it's a nothing burger for this season because that guy whoever it is won't be able to grasp the playbook. And I think with our team right now, I think Toney provides something to the team that doesn't really have that burner that Hardman's fast, but Hardman, as we've seen, is mainly our gadget guy. And if we have Toney could be this burner.
The guy I was thinking about was Terrell Pryor, was a quarterback, played Ohio State. They came in and did really well as a wide receiver. But Toney could definitely come in and make some noise. He can move the chains. And so if we get him acclimated into the offense, he's going to be another weapon for us. And so, and hence, does that say that now, because you got that type of weapon, do you need an OBJ to come in your offense, right? Because you got a guy who is a game changer, if you will, if he stays healthy, right? And to me personally, I'm just going to say this: where the guys have been and how they've been getting better week after week after week, I think we've jailed to the point where now, you ask somebody that to what you want to do is a luxury. If he comes in and plays, it's going to be even better, right? And I think Kadarius Toney gives you that. He's a first round pick, and so he was a first round pick for a reason. And so, does that necessarily say, hey, now maybe you want to go in a different direction than OBJ, right? That's what I think. How you feel about that? What do you think?
I'm on board with it. I think obviously that Toney provides something that the guys on the team do not provide, and I also think Toney provides something that OBJ doesn't even provide. That it's an over the top threat, and he can kind of do a little bit of everything. Obviously, small sample size, we haven't really seen him do much, but I also think that on top of that, OBJ's older. This guy's young. He's on a rookie deal still. Hardman's gone after this year. JuJu's gone after this year. So by bringing in Toney, it kind of people say he's the McCall Hardman replacement, but it really just checks off a box as far as, maybe he won't be utilized as the Hardman, but that checks off a box as one receiver that comes in when Hardman's gone next year. So, I think we'll get to this our next topic, but I think that with the money that we have to spend, does not need to be going to OBJ. That we have way too many receivers. that we should need to bring in another receiver, because that would make no sense. The only two moves we make before the deadline are two receivers, when receivers really aren't the issue for us. I mean,
right. It's not the issue. That's what I was saying too. So,
yeah, that'd be silly. And that's the thing that scares me, is because people said even though we got Toney, that doesn't rule out OBJ, and that's just like that. How is that possible?
Yeah, I just it would make no sense to me. If it was me, I wouldn't do it. I'm like, hey man, look, we got a young guy here. We met what we needed as far as having an extra receiver here that's going to be able to make plays. Sure, like you said, it checks all the boxes. If somebody's going to be here for a long term, why go a different route? Why get somebody else here where I think the more dire need, the more position that needs to be addressed is obviously defensive line or outside, or pass rush. Period. Right. So that's where I'm at with it. So,
yeah, and that conversation leads us perfectly into our next topic. So the trade deadline came and went, and we were apparently in on some edge rushers, or at least we threw out some deals out there. Josh Allen was one that everyone reported that said we were really in that with Jacksonville. I don't know how close Jacksonville was to accepting any more trades. I don't know what we offered. That hasn't come out yet, but unfortunately, we did not come away with any edge rushers as we all hoped that would happen.
Woo!
Yeah, close. But we did move some Chiefs. I'm not gonna say this is a player that a lot of Chiefs fans have had issues with, as far as not being able to play the ball. He usually just kind of plays the defender, doesn't really play the ball. Rashad Fenton. A lot of Chiefs fans have had a lot to say about him. I thought he was a 6th-round talent. I thought he came in and did really well with us for being a 6th-rounder. He was great for what he was when we drafted him. He was solid with us. I know a lot of Chiefs fans have a lot to say about a lot of players, but I think Fenton was great for what he was. But we ended up trading him for a 7th-round pick to Atlanta, which freed up around $2 million for the team, leaving us with around $5 million to spend. So we have $5 million in cap space. We talked about OBJ still being a possibility as far as reports out there. But we talk about edge rush. We talk about interior defensive line help. The 3 names I've heard online: OBJ, Sheldon Richardson, and Ndamukong Suh. So what did you think about the Fenton trade, and who do you think we should be going after with the available funds that we have, which is about $5 million, JD?
I think Fenton played his heart out. I wish nothing but the best for the guy. But like you said, I think what he did, what he gave us was good. It was good, and so he got some young guys that got ability that they wanted to play, and so I think Fenton keeping him here might have been something that you was like, all right, is we keep a guy like that here? Is he going to get any more burn this year? Because you got players. You got them all over the place. You got corners, right? They've been doing extremely well. So what you start seeing how these guys have developed over time, over these 7, 8 games, you just like, well, this is the future. This is where we're making our moves to. Just be honest here, okay? And so Fenton may not have the ability these younger guys have. They don't have the upside these younger guys have. It's the reality of it. And so if you could save cap space and get him to a home that he's going to be happy with, hey, then all means let it work for everybody, right? And so I know it's sad for him to go. I'm sure he was really bummed out about it. But this is like the nature of the business. This is what happens. And so, especially during this time, guys are not really particularly like in the NFL, like, you understand things that happen, especially if you're like that guy, you haven't really been playing and you hear talks around you and things can happen. It could be a little bit of nerve-wracking. So, like I said before, I just wish him the best. But these young guys out here, man, they ready to ball. They're ready to play. They're here playing together. And they got the ability to start in NFL. And I think it would be, tragic if we didn't put those guys out there to go out there and compete every week. Seriously. So, no, I like the trade. I do. I like it. And I hope he's happy with it as far as going there. A little tough, but, hey, it's NFL, man. How it works.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it does speak to what we've talked about it all year. we went to that draft. There was two ways we could have gone with it. We could have gone edge rush heavy, which I thought you and I both thought we should have done that, but we didn't. We went secondary heavy, went DB heavy, and the guys we brought in, for the most part, all hit. What are you talking? We're talking about Josh Williams. He hit. Jalen Watson. He hit. And these are guys, number 2 and number 3 corners. I mean, so like we didn't really need that. Fenton was kind of more of another guy, right, in that rotation. And we got the younger guys who've really panned out. And McDuffie's coming back this week too. So like that was also another thing. It's like, okay, well, right now Fenton's more of just another guy to have. We want to kind of really develop the young guys we do have. So, we could save money and get Fenton out of here and then possibly pick up somebody. So yeah, it just shows the development we have and the love that we have for the young guys that we got in-house that we drafted this year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's trust. That's trust. And the thing was, we seen the trust develop with what he assigned these guys. You go against the best receivers in the game with Devontae Adams. You got Davis, and you got
Mike Williams, Diggs.
Mike Williams, Diggs. I mean, going to get some huge names, man. Best in the business at their position.
Yeah.
And so they pretty much held their own. We of course will say, Josh Williams gave up those 2 touchdowns, but he's right there. Technique, hey, if he turns his head, I keep talking about this. He trusts him. He trusts him for a reason. He's like, I wouldn't leave you on this island if I didn't trust you. I'm not just calling a play just to be calling it, because I don't have any other choice. Now he has, a lot of choices, but he made that choice because he trusted Joshua. So, hey man, these guys are ready. They're hungry. They got the ability. There's some dogs out there in that secondary, and so that's good for him. That's good for him. So I think it says more about the confidence he has in these guys as opposed to the lack of confidence he has in Fenton, right? So
yeah. And then McDuffie coming back, and then you had Watson and Williams who had to play the number 1 and number 2 cornerbacks for a large part of the season so far, and they did pretty well. And like you just said, against really top-notch receivers, some of the best in the game. And they held their own. So it's like, okay, well, we have these guys who can fill in at 1 and 2 corners. Now you can move them into 2 and 3 with McDuffie coming back. So you have a young core in the secondary for years to come with those guys in particular. So with the $5 million, that's like that. I guess it's a lot of people say that's why we did the move, is to clear up space so we could make some moves right here. So where do you think we should go? So the 2 names, we said OBJ. We know how we feel about that one, but Sheldon Richardson, Ndamukong Suh, 2 guys that could be that next DT next to Chris Jones to help him out there with, Wharton being gone. Derek Nottie hasn't really looked the part. Saunders has played well, but as far as that other DT spot, I feel like that's all that been talking about edge rush, which is coming at a premium at these days. But if we can't get edge rush, should we go maybe get somebody on the inside who can kind of be a force, a Suh type? I mean, where would you spend this money?
I mean, my money would have been spent on the defensive end. I would have tried to make that Josh Allen deal work. I'd have, for real. I'd have called them jokers 3 o'clock in the morning, like, listen, we got something else for you. What do you think? Can we get you? What we need to do. That's where my money would have been, no doubt about it. But if not, and if we need to get a defensive tackle, then yeah, absolutely get another guy in here. I keep going back to the same thing. Well, we using Suh, but does Suh want to play? I mean, he's probably, like I said, no telling what he's doing. He's doing a lot of community work, different things like that. So he could be okay where he is in life. So, we know we got the big boy Shelton in. He's here. We can pull him up from the practice squad and come out here and play, plug up some holes. We'll probably need a guy like that this week, especially dealing with what's coming into Arrowhead and Derrick Henry. And so, yeah, it would be important to get somebody beside Chris Jones that is doing a tremendous job and consistent. Saunders has been, pretty decent at times. He has his flashes. Said 92. I mean, these guys, but you need consistency from that position. You need more penetration from that position. You need guys to make a difference from that position besides Chris Jones all the time. Chris Jones is playing at a high level. I mean, he's playing an absolutely ridiculous season right now. And so the man said he was going to push for Defensive Player of the Year, I think he's trying to make an argument right now, man, for what he's been doing. Seriously. I mean, he's playing that position, defensive tackle, better than anybody else I've seen in the NFL right now. He's doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, I think right now, I don't know what the numbers are right now, but I would say that the two people that really pop off as far as Defensive Player of the Year would be Micah Parsons and Chris Jones. The two guys who are, I mean, obviously they do different things, but two guys who are just game changers on that side of the ball, and they've really shown it this year so far.
Yeah, I think Parsons just, because of what he does pass rush wise, he's like the one trick pony, right? Chris could do it all.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. I had to evaluate the entire scope of what he brings to the team. But now I know he's a game changer. I know Parsons does that. Against the run, you lose him. Joker gets hit, he gets pushed around. I mean, he's just a smaller guy. So you got to be honest when we do an evaluation. And so Chris, man, he's making plays in the backfield. He's getting sacks. He's hitting the quarterbacks. He's stripping the ball and getting it on the sack. I mean, you name it, man. He's just been playing at an absolute high level. So you got my vote, but I'm biased. But he does.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, that a lot of people don't when they mention Micah Parsons, don't really mention the fact that he really is. It's a one-sided thing with him. It's literally just pass rush.
Yeah, that's it.
I'd pay a lot for that right now, though.
Yeah, you and me both. Shoot, that's the truth. That's a good game. Go get the ball. That's for sure.
He's gonna get paid whenever. I don't know when his contract's up, but he's gonna get paid whenever that comes. Whew. I'm looking here at the free agents list with as far as edge rushers. Man, it's bare out there. The first few names that pop up, you got Pernell McPhee, Everson Griffin, who at one point these guys were solid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Are they going to make a difference? I mean, I don't think so. Kyler Fackrell, Benson Mayowa, Alex Okafor, D Ford. I know a lot of Chief fans like that name, D Ford. Yeah, there's not much out there. It's pretty rough. Yeah. Tack McKinley's another name I've seen a lot. He's been around the block. That's pretty much it. Yes, that's why I say if we're gonna maybe go for somebody, I would go for a Sue type because I feel like that DT he can bring more to the DT spot than any edge rusher we can bring at this point. I mean, it would give us another guy in the rotation, but will that guy be a difference maker? Where I think a Sue type could be a difference maker at the other DT spot.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? If you were to go in and sign somebody right now, you probably lean DT over edge based on who's available.
Yeah. I mean, if the cupboard's bare, it's bare. Yeah. So, but you can't just get anybody in here.
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody, like you said. Sue, you got to talk. I mean, you got to talk him into it. But he'll garnish, double teams and whatnot. The name in itself will cause wreak some havoc, just knowing his history. So we'll have some centers and guards trembling in they cleats. Believe me, just know they're coming up against him.
Him and Jones side by side be scary.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
And Sue went to Nebraska, right? I mean, is he from Nebraska? I mean, I can't think of one of the closest NFL teams to Nebraska. I got to figure that. Sure, a lot of Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he's from. To be honest with you.
Okay, so went to Nebraska. Okay, no, he's from Portland, Oregon. So no, nowhere near. Never mind. But went to Nebraska, so he's got a lot of the big red nation. I'll be all over. Love that signing in Kansas City. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that $5 million. I mean, because they did the Fenton trade for specific reasons. So I'm curious what that is, or if it's just money to have clear up space just to have extra money for whatever reason happens. But yeah. So you mentioned that you'd like to have a run stuffer, and a plugger in the middle this week because we're playing against Tennessee.
Yes.
So as you said, we're playing against Tennessee this weekend. They're coming off a 17-10 victory over the Texans. And Derrick Henry looked like the Derrick Henry that he's been for the last few years. Had 220 yards, rushing, 2 TDs. But the thing that's, I think, going to be the kind of the reason why we win this game this week is the quarterback situation. So Ryan Tannehill didn't play, but their rookie quarterback Malik Willis did. 6 of 10 for 55 yards and interception. So he only threw like 10 passes. It's like a JV quarterback playing. They didn't really throw much with them. They just ran the ball the entire time. So obviously they still haven't said who's going to be the quarterback between Tannehill and Malik this week. So I believe from what I've read that Andy Reid said they're going to focus on both of them. They're going to prepare for either one. So without AJ Brown this year, they've been more kind of heavy reliant on that run game, even though they usually are, but even more so this year with going with straight up with Henry. So based on the numbers we've given up over the last few weeks, the running backs, and you've mentioned that we're playing against the better quarterbacks, so we're kind of playing back a little more, and then kind of getting closer, bend but don't break once we get closer to the red zone.
Yeah.
How do you think we'll play against this Titans team coming up this week?
I think it'll be a little bit more defensively, more geared to stopping the run. And the thing is, you're not necessarily worried about, like I said, Tannehill or Malik Willis beating you with their arms. I think, everybody knows in the stadium, they're going to give it to that big joker in the back right here that weighs 265, 270 pounds, And so it's not going to be like, hey, they're going to pass. Nope. They're going to hand it off to Derrick Henry. And so I know they're receiving, core is little, it's not as good. Like AJ Brown's gone. They got Burke. I don't know if Burke is he healthy now? So he's done. Is he on IR?
I don't think he's on. If he's on IR, I think he can return this week or in the coming weeks. But I don't think he's out for the season.
Okay. Well, Robert Woods been trying to fight to do some things, but you got to get the ball to him, right? And so he's kind of a smaller guy, but they handed the ball off. That's what they're going to do. They're going to hand the ball off. So I think it's going to be a little bit more, maybe doing some slants, getting some, more 7 or 8 in the box. These guys are going to play close to the line of scrimmage, and make sure you stop that run. But I think we'll hold up. We'll definitely hold up. Spags does a great job, man. Put some things, a game plan together. They did a great job against them, down there from stopping Derrick Henry from getting a whole lot of yards. So I don't really have any problem with that. We just knew the teams, because they was pass heavy, we were playing more of a pass defense. And so some of the runners, we knew they might get a little bit. Josh Jacobs got his little thing. And then, of course, the dude up there with the Buffalo, he got off a little bit. Yeah. So, hey, but like I said, it's a give and take. Right? What's going to hurt you? What's going to beat you? Right? So can't let Derrick Henry beat you. Let everybody else around you beat you. Derrick Henry cannot be that guy.
Yeah. And you mentioned Treylon Burks. So this week he's eligible to come off the IR this week. So he landed on IR week 4 of the season. So this week it's the first week he can come off that. So it'll be interesting if he plays. I mean, this will be it's like 5th NFL game. So I don't know how much difference he's going to be, coming off IR.
Rusty. He's gonna be rusty. It's gonna be rusty. But we got big corners go against a guy like that, so
true.
They can run.
It's true. Yeah. And then looking at last year, I mean, we got thumped by them. That October game was that 27-3. That was I remember we did a film study on that. We were like, nothing was good in that game. You just throw that film away essentially.
Well, I think they gave the blueprint about how you play, Tyreek Hill, with dropping 8, dropping 7 and 8. That's what they were doing. And so when you got a defensive-minded coach, he's going to make sure, like, look, you're a strong suit. We're going to make sure we're going to attack that. And that's what they did. So could go for the big ball, and it kind of threw guys out of whack, threw everybody, a nice curveball to Patrick and those guys. And he was just like, wait a minute, hold on. So you've seen them. You've seen it. You've seen what happened. So we didn't really run the football like we should have. Same thing, but hopefully have a little bit more balanced attack going against them this week, and we'll see. But I think we'll beat these guys. I don't have any problem with any issues of thinking that we won't. Like I said, you just stop Derrick Henry, man. Let the other guys fly around. Let the offense go out down the field. Now we don't have to look for the big bombs, right? Now we got the receivers underneath to do all the things we need to do, who run great routes, got great hands. Yep. And so we're going to be fine.
Yeah, and the crazy thing was not the way we lost last year is that we actually I remember that was like Bolton's coming out party against them. Remember he dominated. I mean, I think he had like a couple of TFLs on Henry in the backfield during that game. And I'm looking at his stats right here. Henry had 29 carries for 86 yards in that game. I mean, we stopped him. But yet they dominated us 27-3. So that was the crazy part of that game.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. I think their quarterback situation is really going to hurt them this week because we know Houston can't stop the running game this year. I think they're next to last or last in the league in allowing rush yards per game on the season. So if we could stop the run and make Willis do his thing or whoever's the quarterback, Tannehill or Willis, I think they might be in for a long day. And Vegas also believes they're in for a long game. So that's going to lead us to our final topic here. So the Chiefs are hosting the Tennessee Titans on Sunday Night Football on NBC. So another primetime game for us, which means a late night live stream. I just thought about that. Oh, you're gonna be at the game, so
yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Will you be able to make the live stream, or you might pop on, you might not?
We'll see.
Okay.
It might be, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So coming off a bye, as most of you know, Andy Reid is pretty much perfect when he comes off a bye. He's 20-3, so close to perfect. But coming off a bye week, Chiefs currently a 12.5-point favorite, the highest favorite of the week against the Tennessee Titans. The JD, who do you have, and what's your score prediction for Sunday night against the Tennessee Titans?
Let me see. I think it would be 31-14.
Ooh.
This one will be at 31-14. Guys are going to seem a little rusty, but I think in offense, man, I think they're ready to get back to it. That's what I think. I think they're ready to keep everything going. You know what they've been doing before they left up out of here for the bye week. Guys, like I said, you kind of get your legs back. I think they're ready to play, man. I think they're ready this second part of the season. They're going to get after it. So that's why I'm looking at. I was going to say 28-14, but I think we stopped Derrick Henry. We stop those guys to actually – he's going to be the key. He's going to be the key. You stop him from running and all of that, you're going to be fine. Defensively, they're going to be trying to play, of course, probably running some blitzes. Still got a good defense. But we got some great offensive weapons. So I think it will be, 31-14. That's where I'm at.
Who do you think will be the leading rusher for the Chiefs side?
The leading rusher for the Chiefs? Oh, geez. I don't know. CH. I think CH is going to get, leading rusher.
All right. Yeah, just curious on that one because hearing Coach Reid talk about it, they said it was interesting. He said they wanted to make sure Pacheco got his reps last game. That's why they started him, which is interesting. You wanted to make sure he got his reps, so you had to start him. You can't just cycle him into the lineup. I don't understand why you had to start him to make sure he got his reps. It's a weird way of going about making sure someone gets their reps.
Well, that was coach's talk by saying we put him in, get his reps. If he does well, he gets more. So that's what that is. And that's what he meant. He's like, we make sure we got his reps in. We won't wait till the later half of the game when we up or whatever it may be to get his reps. Let's put him in now. And if he's successful, then he gets a little bit more looks. And then maybe next week, then he start him again. Right? So, he just throwing it at just see what he could do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where that goes because in that game, he got the first few carries. We didn't hear from him again until Chad Henne came in at the end of that game. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And last thing, I forgot to mention this. Ronald Jones also last week said he wanted out off the team. He said he wanted to be cut, and they're saying they're not going to cut him. Yeah, he actually. I don't know if you saw that. He tweeted, "I want off the team" or something like that. I want to be let go or something like that.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. I did not. Wow.
The team said they're not going to cut him because they like having him there for a depth in case anything ever happens.
I'd feel the same way. I'd be pissed too. Really. How do you blame the guy? How do you blame him? You bring me in here to do this. I'm thinking I'm coming in to actually challenge these guys, and I'm getting acclimated to everything that I'm doing. and I'm not getting any reps, not one, not dressing for the game. Hey man, listen, apparently y'all don't have that type of trust in my ability and what I can do to be a significant factor here. Let me go somewhere else, go play. So, shoot, I feel it. I ain't mad at him on that. Shoot, matter of fact, I agree with him.
Me too. That's the thing. If all of us are saying, "Oh, let's get Ronald Jones in there, and let him get a chance," and if we're thinking that, he's definitely saying that to himself, and he sees the amount of teams that need a running back right now. There's plenty of teams out there who want a running back. Rams are one of them.
Yeah, shoot. Let him get his reps. Talking about getting your Pacheco, let him get his reps. Shoot, I give him about 5 or 6. See what he does with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. The team doesn't want to release him, so that tells you maybe how they feel about the running back room, maybe how they feel about him. I don't know. Well, we're gonna see how the days play out and the games and the weeks ahead play out. But that does it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. We'll see you guys Sunday after the game. JD may or may not be there, but he'll be at the game. So we'll have JD down at the Chiefs. He can give us any kind of reports that he sees out there. But we'll see you guys next week.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.